Hey, we are out here in the hills of Southern California today doing our launch ride on the 2024 Yamaha YZ250. It's their 50th anniversary edition. And Adam Persitza, our guy here, is our test rider today. And he normally rides an RM250, so he's a two-stroke guy, which I love about that. I love about you. And I'm curious to get his take on this bike since he's kind of a two-stroke aficionado. Now, full disclosure, the track we rode today, very technical, tight, but it's been raining a lot. Everything else is muddy, so maybe not an easy track for you to ride.
No, not at all. The great rain-soaked hills in Southern California, great conditions, but yeah, just very technical, ruddy. Everything's off camber, so on a brand new, never been ridden bike, trying to figure out settings on this thing, it was a little difficult to get comfortable, but once we made a few changes, man, this thing just rode great.
So talk about the kind of the big differences between this and the two-stroke you're used to, and just how this felt for you overall.
I'd say probably the biggest thing is the rider triangle. I felt a little more open on this. The Suzuki is a little bit more compact, but I'm just so used to that. I've been riding those most of my life, but this just felt really good. Like I could really move around on the bike. Power band, I'd say very similar. I don't think it's any, everybody knows that the RM was pretty much based off of the YZ package back in those days, so very similar power band. It was nice just everything being fresh. Mine's an 05, been rebuilt a couple times, so it's definitely been put through its paces. Frame's very broken, this obviously all being new. It just felt like good new bike. I mean, I had the big smile under the helmet out there. It was a lot of fun.
Now, how about the engines? This obviously stock, completely stock, exhaust and everything, but these still run pretty well.
Yeah, it was very pipey. I mean, right when I got off, that was the first thing I told you. I was like, man, this thing is responsive. Like, by no means am I leaving anything on the table by riding this and having some fun. And I don't think it's any better than the hills out here on a two-stroke.
Yeah, I mean, just watching them ride, I was chomping at the bit. I'm probably a few weeks out still from being able to ride, but I do love the look of this 50th anniversary model. They come in blue also if you, purple's not your deal. If you don't, the nostalgia doesn't echo with you, but to me, I just loved it. It kind of throws back to Damon Bradshaw, who was a hero of mine when I was a kid. So I love the look of it, and it's awesome to think these guys have been making these bikes for that long. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot of refinement, a lot of polishing, and even in recent years, I love that Yamaha is continuing to develop this bike and try to make it better here and there where they can, where they feel like they can get some improvement and still keep that Yamaha reliability. And as you mentioned, you know, the last year when I rode the version of this bike, you don't even really need the clutch. You can kind of ride it like a 450,
yeah,
where you just use the throttle. You mentioned that responsiveness. It's true. I mean, unless you're in really deep dirt or up a hill, you kind of just leave the clutch alone and ride it like a four-stroke.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, they just have such good torque. Yeah, you could lug it around if you needed to. There's definitely sections as we're kind of working in the track, getting used to it. I was riding higher gears just because it was so rutted or just kicking me left and right before we kind of tamed down the suspension a little bit. And then once it started tracking, you get right into the meat of that power band and just, you could go pretty damn quick.
Well, it's a beautiful bike. We had a blast on it, just riding it. There isn't any changes to this bike from 23 to 24 other than the aesthetic. But I do love the changes they made last year with the seat that's a little more round, just a little bit more of a racy feel to it. This bike is so much fun. I love it. So final thoughts on this thing?
I mean, just
thumbs
a blast to ride. Yeah. If
yeah.
you can, go pick one up. You'll have a great time.
All right. Well, we're going to get a few more laps on this thing here today, and then we're going to come up with Adam's best setting. We're going to share that in a race spec video, so stay tuned. It's going to be coming here in the coming weeks, so that if you have one of these, or a 23, you'll be able to have a good starting point for suspension settings and sag and all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned, that's coming. Thank you to Yamaha for letting us have a ride on this thing. We love it.
Yeah.
If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, comment what you thought, and share it with your friends.